Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Now, this is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and this show aims to bring you the most relevant and updated information on everything related to your businesses. Today, I'll bring you a quick recap of an interview I did earlier with Infinity Retail. On the show today, a chat with Bank Bazaar, that's on our Insights segment, and on Bright Sparks, we'll feature Square Yards. Retail today has many forms: online, offline, omni-channel, clothing, food, electronics, the list is endless. The regulatory framework for retail is just as many-fold and oftentimes confusing. I spoke with the CEO of Infinity Retail, which manages the consumer retail brand Chroma, to bring you, the MSME entrepreneur, the top do's and don'ts to keep in mind for your retail business. Take a listen.
Today, the segmentation of customers is no longer at a very macro level. It has to be very, very deep segmentation. So you have to understand that X person wants during Diwali this item, and that is how even in Chroma we are actually asking the customer, what is your wish for this season? Give me the exact model that you want to buy, rather than just tell me I want to buy a TV, or not even telling me anything. That something I am going to buy. You tell me exactly the model you want. I'll give you an offer on that model. So how do I achieve that? I think as a small retailer, you might be able to do that because you know certain customers. So you start asking them, what are you planning? Let me start, building a portfolio for you. And if you can do that, sharpen your offer, then you will not unnecessarily throw pricing. Pricing means, it cuts across products, and therefore you are throwing a lot of discounts where the customer is not really interested. There are some guys you lose. But at the same time, there are customers who want value, who want actually the product that they want the service around that. And if you can satisfy that, if you can sharpen your understanding of that, you will probably get a better margin, at the same time, much happier customer.
We listen closely to you, the MSME entrepreneur, about issues affecting your business, and we bring you expert voices to address each of your concerns. And tonight, we're turning the spotlight on the #1 concern which has been voiced by you, which is finance, and we're featuring a company that gives you insights on loans, credit cards and personalized finance products. I caught up with Bank Bazaar. Take a listen to the founder's recommendations on how you should and can become financially literate. Thank you so much for coming down to our studios and speaking with us today. Let me kick this conversation off by asking you to talk to us about the kind of journey and how the industry has changed for your company.
So Bank Bazaar's been around since 2008. Our goal as a company is to help people access the right financial product. We believe it's a worthy goal because consumers, either end up talking to one brand, and a brand will always recommend its own products, or sometimes they talk to smaller agents who sell products for commission. Bank Bazaar, on the other hand, takes a long-term view. We don't sell products based on whether we make money or not. We help the customer access the right product. Furthermore, I think the biggest change that's come into the industry is the innovation in technology and paperless. So when we started 8 years ago, right, everything used to be paper: your bank statements, your pay slips, your IT documents, your application form, your KYC. Today, that entire process is becoming paperless. So literally in 30 minutes of applying on Bank Bazaar, we're able to give you an approval on a financial product because your eKYC is done online, your e-sign is done online. So the biggest change in the industry is technology innovation.
Sure. Okay. Lots of interesting points. Let me, pick up on each of those. And I want to start by talking really about technology and the role that technology plays in your industry. How has it changed, and what is going to be that one disruptor over, say, the next 5 years when it comes to technology?
Today, right, the mobile phone is turning into your branch or your insurance point of access, and anything you want, right, literally can be delivered on that mobile phone within 15 minutes. So technology is a game changer, right? And when I think of the future, I think the future is essentially going to be paperless. So you asked me, what is that one trend? That one trend is paperless. And the democratization of finance in India, I believe, is not going to rest on putting a kiosk in every village or putting a center in every town. It's actually going to rest on a mobile device. In 15 minutes, I should be able to give you a fixed deposit, health insurance, a debit card, a mutual fund, literally in 15 minutes without any paper. That product should be delivered to your mobile phone, and technology can provide that. And the beauty of it is when technology does it right, your operating cost goes down to nearly zero, because your technology is a fixed cost and your operating cost goes really low, which means you can access any town, any village in the country.
Okay, so two things out of that. One is you were talking about the cost of technology, and a lot of MSMEs write into us say, I know that I have to start using technology more in my business, but I just can't afford the cost. What advice would you have?
See, Bank Bazaar is a tech firm, right? So our largest budget item as far as expenses go is the technology that we build. For us, we view it as a fixed cost. So what we say is that we need to build the technology upfront, the paperless, the eKYC, the e-sign, and that when it gets used by millions and millions of people, that technology cost is amortized. I think a non-tech MSME has a different kind of problem. So for me, I'm a tech MSME, so I'm investing and very good at it. For others, I'd say that, hey, at any point in time, it's a trade-off between fixed and variable, right? So would you rather, use inefficient offline processes and try and run with it, wherein your fixed cost might be low, but your operating cost continues to be high? Or do consider, which is what Bank Bazaar has done, invest in that upfront fixed cost, which is technology, but the benefits accrue over a long time because technology scales up rapidly with very, very low operating costs. So I'd say look at that trade-off, and where technology can be used, right? I think the ability to leverage the financial ecosystem to use technology is very high today, and both the regulators and the government are supporting that.
You're talking about the use of the mobile and how the mobile is disrupting and going to disrupt your industry.
Right.
What advice would you have for MSMEs, when it comes to them deciding whether to have a mobile app for their business, whether they should have, mobile plus website or only website? Is there something they need to keep in mind?
Great question, Sunanda. I'd like to answer it in two ways. One is, if I look back 2 years ago, right, less than 30% of our transactions were coming via mobile. I'm excited to share on your show, right, that today 51% of our transactions actually comes from the mobile. I spoke to the largest financial marketplace in China, and the CEO there told me that 75% of his transactions are coming via mobile. So I think I have very clear line of sight that at Bank Bazaar, right, 70-75% of our transactions are going to be fully mobile in the next 2 years. Now, when you have an MSME who's thinking about strategy, I'd say that think mobile first, not mobile only. I think the lesson from the e-commerce world has been that give consumers multiple options, let them decide. Like I said, 49% of Bank Bazaar transactions still come from the desktop. So it's a mobile first approach. What mobile first means is that you build thinking of the mobile interface first versus thinking of the desktop and then porting it to the mobile. Now you think about mobile first because that's going to be a majority, but give people multiple options. If that means a desktop site, so be it. If it means a mobile site, so be it. If it means a mobile app, so be it. I'd say don't force the consumer, give the consumer multiple options, but bet that mobile is going to be the big bet for the future if you're thinking out to 2018.
Okay, I want to take a step back and talk about financial literacy as well. On the Leaders of Tomorrow, we have a call-in show, and a lot of time MSMEs and entrepreneurs tell us they're unaware of how to go about making themselves more financially literate. What would your advice be?
So from the MSME angle, right, this has been learning on the job for me. So we've been through 3 rounds of funding at Bank Bazaar. So Amazon investment, a Sequoia investment, a Walden investment with Fidelity and Moose partners. We've also done 2 rounds of angel capital. Now this I've learned on the job. There was nothing that I could have learned at university, and I think the main thing I've learned is maybe have an advisor or a mentor who can advise you on the intricacies of when to approach a bank for a loan, when to approach a venture capital, when to approach angel capital. There's some resources available online, but I find that learning about this mostly I've learned on the job. Today, information is available online. In fact, businesses like Bank Bazaar have taken it one step further. We're saying we're not only going to provide you information, we'll help you transact and access the product online using paperless technologies. So for the retail consumer, I think the big boon, right, is that today you are empowered online to have the same information that the top corporate executive used to have 10 years ago. Make use of it.
Okay, let's talk about the regulatory environment for your industry. And I first want to talk about GST and whether it's going to be a game changer or not.
Right. So see, we come under the ambit of service tax, and we've been paying approximately 14% service tax in the current environment. This covers banking products, insurance products, savings and investment. So for us, it's an incremental change. So we'll be migrating from service tax to GST. So it's incremental. It's not a dramatic shift like some of the other industries are going to see, wherein 4 or 5 taxes are getting rationalized into one. It's more measured as far as BFSI goes. As far as the regulatory environment goes, right, I think the government of India, this Modi administration, with the Ministry of Finance and with the regulators, right, RBI, SEBI, IRDA, have been encouraging paperless. So we are seeing a lot of positive development. So SEBI, in fact, has said that if you're opening a mutual fund, less than 50,000 rupees per annum, you can actually do it without paper. You just do eKYC and that fund is delivered to your mobile phone in 50 minutes. This, I think, is some world-class regulation. They're thinking of the future, they're thinking of how the internet is changing consumers' lives, and they're making new regulation for us, which I think is great, right? So they're saying that, hey, we understand you bring value to customer, we understand that your mode of operational is new, and even the IRDA, right, has come up with an independent regulation for web aggregators, which allows us to make use of paperless. So, kudos to the Indian financial regulators.
As I'm winding down this conversation, two last questions.
Sure.
And first, since we're talking about regulation,
Right.
in the Indian financial industry, in the financial services industry, is still very highly regulated.
Right.
What lessons could we possibly learn from our global peers?
See, I think Indian financial services is regulated for a reason. If you take insurance, for example, we're taking money from policy holders, promising certain benefits. Now, these benefits are fairly complex. So let's say you were buying a health insurance. I'll need to tell you, for example, are you covered if you're traveling abroad? If, for example, you need to travel abroad for certain medical services, will that be covered? What is your co-pay? Will you have to pay the first 1 lakh or not? And it's very important that I'm trained to explain this to you properly, which is why there's so much regulation around insurance. So I think it's important to have these industry regulated to start off the bat. Secondly, I think regulators are realizing, right, that what's happening in the internet is one, good for the consumer because it's about transparency. If I'm showing you 20 offers out there and you are choosing the right offer on Bank Bazaar, I can't be misleading you. And also, all the information is online. You want to know what is the claim settlement ratio, it's online. You want to know the grievance settlement ratio, it's online. You want to know the premium, the benefits, it's all online. So my chances of mis-selling to you are very low because it's out there in public. Any one of the 9 million people who came to Bank Bazaar in March are seeing the data. I think regulators recognize we're a new type of industry and is coming out with policy for us. Obviously, I think the key is now to enable paperless.
A quick last word.
Sure.
We were talking about digital earlier,
Right.
and do you want to tell our viewers about the product that you have, where is enabling you to talk directly to people,
Right.
help them in their journey of financial literacy,
Right.
and also help MSMEs and entrepreneurs along the way?
Got it. So we've been creating a lot of digital content, be it a blog, be it a Facebook page on Bank Bazaar, on Twitter, on Instagram, producing video shows on YouTube. What we're finding, right, is that for the first time in history almost, a young company like Bank Bazaar can expect to directly connect with the consumer via our website, via Facebook, via Twitter, via Quora, without having any media intermediating it. I think we have an aspiration today to be a household brand that every Indian knows will help them access the right financial product instantly. Now, this opportunity for MSMEs didn't exist 10 years ago because your entry point for a budget, right, to do a mass media campaign was very high. But today, using digital technology, right, we produce a video show. We did something with HDFC Life, and that has 25,000 views on Facebook already. Now, 25,000 people have consumed our content organically. And we're a growing brand. So I think MSMEs today should realize that social is creating brand new opportunities, and they can directly connect with lakhs and lakhs, if not millions of consumers, if they can produce engaging content.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll feature Square Yards on our Bright Spark segment. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow and featuring Square Yards on our Bright Spark segment. Gurugram-based real estate aggregator Square Yards is one of India's leading organized property advisory firms, having a global reach across 8 countries. Within a span of just 3 years, the brand now boasts of having the largest market share of NRIs investing in India, contributing to nearly 30% of primary sales in the country. But how can small businesses in the real estate segment grow their businesses both in India and abroad? Those are some of the questions Libza Manan posed to the management. Take a listen.
Online real estate aggregator Square Yards is helping consumers find their dream spaces from the comfort of their homes. Launched in 2013, the brand today has a network of over 500 developers and is one of the few Indian brands that is betting big on international real estate. The company's co-founder Vivek Agarwal spoke to us earlier about the innovative strategies that has helped their startup emerge as a sought-after real estate brand in less than 3 years.
Square Yards is a real estate advisory firm. So Vivek, can you simplify this definition for our viewers as to how the company helps buyers find the right property?
So we generate a lot of leads online through our portal squareyards.com, and once we get those leads, we pass on those leads to our sales advisors. So we have around 600 plus on-ground real estate advisors spread across the globe till the transactions are closed. So they help the customers choose the right property, get it at a right price, and also help that the transaction is smooth, right? And once the property is sold, we have a post-sale service CRM team. They handhold the client till the property is possessed.
Well, the brand boasts of having a network of over 500 developers. So would you like to name some of the renowned developers that the company is associated with?
So you name it, and we are one of the biggest channel partners of most of them. So in Mumbai, you have names like Lodha, you have names like Kalpatru, you have names like Kolte Patil in Pune, right? In Bangalore, we work with Prestige, with Purvankara, with Brigade. In North, we work with DLF, we work with Vatika, we work with, so you name the developer, we have it in our panel. So we work with most of the developers.
Taking you down the memory lane, would you like to highlight some of the best-selling properties on Square Yards so far?
So last year we sold around, last year in December, we picked up a property in Bangalore. Okay, it's again a concept based on smart city, co-living and co-working space. So we have sold around 1500 units in that single apartment complex, both residential and commercial combined. So for us, the sweet spot is properties which are like investor friendly, okay, easier for the pocket, and then they have something associated with them. It can be a assured rental, it can be a guaranteed return, it can be anything.
The brand has gradually diversified into other products than real estate advisory services. So give us more insights into these products.
Primarily, we have 4 different products. Okay, so real estate advisory is the flagship, right, which is known as Square Yards. So we started another company called as Square Capital, which is into mortgage and home loan advisory. The third division, it's called as Bling Marketing. Okay, so Bling also started as because we were doing a lot of events across the globe for real estate developers. And the fourth, which is slightly smaller as of now, is our real estate tech company called as Scapesworks. Okay, so there we are doing these 3D visualization, augmented reality, gamification, virtual reality kind of solutions.
With a strong focus on ensuring customer delight, the brand boasts of having more than 7,500 happy and satisfied buyers. Having a robust portfolio of NRI customers, the brand's after-sales support handholds consumers right from choosing a property to getting the right documents to the last detail of purchase, making sure that the buyer's journey with Square Yards is a smooth and memorable one.
What sort of impact do you think is the festive season likely to have on the real estate market?
So we have been talking to a lot of customers, right, and people, when the festive season comes, they make their minds that I have to do transaction on Diwali or Dashera or Akshay Tritiya, right? So we are talking to developers. We have got a lot of exciting offers coming up, right? In terms of it can be a waiver in price, it can be a freebie, right? It can be a assured rental, it can be a guaranteed return. So we have got a bouquet of products across India as well as outside India as well.
What changing trends do you anticipate for the real estate sector in the next couple of years?
Two trends which are broadly emerging, right? So one is because of the recent slowdown, right? We are seeing a lot of consolidation among the real estate developers as such. So I think over a period of time, we'll see that the industry will become more structured in terms of corporate governance, right? With big brands and their best practices coming in. The second change that will happen is because of the real estate regulation bill that is coming, RERA.
With GST soon to become a reality, various sectors are welcoming this change in India's tax structure. How do you think this landmark bill would actually impact the Indian real estate sector?
So what we'll experience first is that there will be a consolidation in terms of office spaces, in terms of retail, okay, in terms of commercial complexes. So we'll see large metros like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, they will experience huge demand, right? And we are already experiencing that. We have got mandates from big companies to open like lakhs of square feet of warehouse space or office space in big metros. So I think GST is going to change the real estate landscape.
The company has undergone corporate restructuring last year with merger and acquisitions. So how has these moves helped in the growth of your business?
So far at Square Yards, we have acquired 3 companies. The first one was a real estate search and discovery portal called as realizing.in. Then we acquired another company which is into 3D visualization, okay, and augmented reality. It's called as Scapes now. We rebranded it to Scapes. And we also acquired one company in Singapore which is into luxury properties. It's called as Lux Real Estate. So all 3 acquisitions have worked very well for us.
Being a 22-month-old startup, Square Yards has brought laurels to the Indian real estate sector. What has been your success mantra and any advice for entrepreneurs who want to enter the real estate sector?
We don't believe in marketing, right? So you won't have seen Square Yards ad on any newspaper or on a TV, right? We quietly do our work. I think the success mantra for us is focus on business, right? Don't worry about valuations, don't worry about fundraising, right? If you just focus on your business, you will do well. And that would be my advice to the budding entrepreneurs. Okay, when you're building a business, don't worry about capital. Do something good for the customers and customers will come in.
If I were to compare our GMV to the traditional metrics which are there in the e-commerce or similar space, I would be talking of we would have done transactions worth almost $1 billion by now for customers. So that's the kind of numbers we focus on. But we said as in GMV does not make sense for us. What matters for us is the net revenue which I am earning. So that's what we track on a day-to-day basis, and that's what we live by.
The brand clocked an annual turnover of nearly 67 crores last year and eyes to take this figure to 167 crores this coming fiscal. After registering its presence across geographies, Square Yards is on its way to become one of the leading brands, expanding its reach to US and South African markets soon. An ambitious target that is likely to help the brand create a niche in the international real estate market.
Today we brought you tips on how mobile payment wallets can be used by small businesses like yours. And if you want your company to be featured on the show or have any questions about and pertaining to your business, to write in to us. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is the email ID. You can also tweet at me personally at Sunanda_J or reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT, or you can call us on that number you see on your screens, and we promise to have all of your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.